The year was 1963, the year of Martin Luther King's iconic I Have a Dream speech. LBJ took over the White House after President Kennedy was assassinated. And it was the year many people say the Beatles found their voice.
There is a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue.
That is, There's a Place, one of 59 songs never released by the legendary music group. While you were sleeping, a collection of lost studio recordings and performances were made available for a short time on iTunes. It's gone now. Let's bring in CNN entertainment correspondent Nichelle Turner. Why?
Well, I got good news and bad news in this piece for you, Carol, here, so bear with me. You know, there were versions of different songs that were available, songs like I Want to Hold Your Hand, Roll Over Beethoven, Hippie Hippie Shake, those type of songs. But the thing to remember here is that this was a move to extend the copyright for these versions of these songs. These are, as you said, live performances and studio tracks that were never released on an album. Now, 50 years ago, the BBC actually relied mainly on live music. So when people heard the Beatles there, it was from a live performance. And I know we have a little bit of a track. I think I might have heard it, but if we can hear it again where my mouth isn't running over it, it's bad to me. Let's listen.
There is a place where I can go when I feel low, when I feel blue.
Okay, so There's a Place again. We're giving you what we can give you this morning. Now, as far as we can tell, the copyright on these songs were set to expire at the end of December, Carol, because they were never released, which means in order to keep control over the versions of these songs, they had to put them up for sale to the public. So this release wasn't widely publicized. The songs have already been taken down from iTunes sites around the world, but just after 9 o'clock Eastern time this morning, we were able to see it for sale for the first time on iTunes here in the U.S. One of our coworkers found it available on iTunes about 20 minutes ago, but we just checked again about a minute ago, Carol, and it's already unavailable. But we got it, though. We got it before it became unavailable.
That's good. See, there's a good side to working overnights, right? So,
You try.
So will these songs be released again, and when will we be able to get our hands on them?
Well, you know, that's a good question. A music industry executive that has knowledge of these arrangements actually told us that the tracks will be available on iTunes for the, quote, foreseeable future. But there are several observers that have suggested that these bootlegs, their brief release, would be a way to only extend the 50-year copyrights for another 20 years. Now, the thing to remember here, again, is that a lot of this material is under these same copyright restrictions. So there was an album released in November called On Air Live at the BBC Volume 2, and also there was one released that will be released in January. It's a big collection of the Beatles albums that was coming out next year. So they're trying their best to preserve these copyrights so nobody else can profit off of this, the Beatles music.
All right, Nichelle Turner, thanks so much.
Absolutely.